Presenza, 18th of February 2024, China's Brahmaputra Dam poses a threat to India and Bangladesh. China has constructed dams to regulate the amount of water entering India as part of their water war against the Indian subcontinent. Part of her plan for fighting the water war. Over the mighty Brahmaputra River, China constructed the largest dam in the world in secrecy, endangering the environment, morphology, and ecology. Many millions of people in Bangladesh and downstream India would suffer significantly if the massive project is approved. Bangladesh and India are concerned about China's $1.5 billion Zangmu Hydropower Station dam over the Brahmaputra. The Helsinki Rules on the uses of the waters of international rivers govern how rivers and their connected groundwaters that cross national boundaries may be used. They were adopted by the International Law Association, ILA, in Helsinki, Finland, in 1966. China was required to consult with the two neighboring countries, but it failed to do so. Delhi and Dhaka know that diplomatic efforts to resolve the simmering issue with the haughty Beijing government would not be helped. China's hydroelectric project over the massive Brahmaputra River is creating a new point of contention with India because the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, is in power in Assam, a state in northeastern India where the river runs further south and into the Bangladesh Delta. At Bahadurabad in Jamalpur, Bangladesh, the Brahmaputra River acquires a local name upon its entry. Author and researcher Mohiuddin Ahmad stated that the Jamuna River originates directly from the vast Brahmaputra River. The Jamuna River provides vital life support to the people living along its banks during the monsoon season, enabling millions to navigate the floodplains and engage in extensive agricultural activities. China's proposed megadam on a significant river that flows into northeast India raises concerns in Bangladesh and has the potential to become just another flashpoint between Beijing and New Delhi. Brahmachlani was once an advisor to India's National Security Council and is currently an emeritus professor of strategic studies at the Centre for Policy Research in New Delhi. Among his 9 published works is Water, Asia's New Battleground. With more significant dams in operation than all other nations combined, China holds an unrivaled position as the hydropower house of the world. It is now constructing the first super dam in history on its tightly guarded border with India. With a 60-gigawatt planned capacity, this massive project would produce 3 times as much electricity as the Three Gorges Dam, now the world's most excellent hydropower facility. However, since the National People's Congress approved the project in March 2021, China has not provided many updates regarding its progress. China only submitted the mega dam project to the National People's Congress for approval after constructing the necessary infrastructure to deliver personnel, heavy machinery, and supplies to distant locations. Beijing claimed to have completed a highway through the world's deepest canyon barely 2 months after the parliament gave its sanction almost 3 years prior. The Indian border is relatively near to where that roadway finishes. Silence regarding the progress of previous projects has frequently been used as an excuse for inaction. Beijing has a history of concealing large-scale dam construction operations on international rivers until they are no longer visible in commercially available satellite images. The super dam is situated in a location long believed to be unpassable, among the most hazardous landscapes on Earth. Because the hydrology and river morphology have not been thoroughly investigated, experts continuously research the massive river. Ahmad, who spent a century working for the Bangladesh Delta Plan, BDP, claimed that Bangladesh is falling behind in its research on the Brahmaputra River. To put it simply, the world's highest altitude main river descends through the world's longest and steepest canyon as the Brahmaputra, also known to Tibetans as the Yarlung Tsangpo, makes a sudden turn southward from the Himalayas into India, dropping about 3,000 meters in the process. The Brahmaputra Gorge, which is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon in the United States, is home to Asia's largest untapped water reserves. Additionally, the river's sharp fall produces one of the planet's largest concentrations of river energy. Chinese dam builders have found themselves drawn to this combination like a magnet. According to Sanat Chakraborty, a journalist and expert on rivers' shape, life, and history in northeast India, numerous British expeditions and scholars could not reach Tibet, an occupied part of China under the British Raj. The Braided Rivers, written by renowned Indian journalist Samrat Chowdhury, depicts the lives of boatmen, fishermen, the chars, shoals, people, farmers, and the bustling hat market trade. Chowdhury spent days afloat on the Brahmaputra in Bangladesh in the northeast. He explained how the river is essential to the lives of millions of people. But because the massive dam is being constructed in a seismically active region, it is the riskiest project in the world. According to Chilani, this means that it could be a ticking time bomb for communities in Bangladesh and India that are downstream. The fact that the southeast portion of the Tibetan Plateau is prone to earthquakes due to its location on the geological fault line where the Eurasian and Indian plates collide is concerning. 87,000 people were killed in the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, which occurred at the eastern edge of the Tibetan Plateau. The event brought attention to the phenomenon known as reservoir-triggered pressure, in which pressure from a dam's reservoir may have contributed to the earthquake's trigger. A few scientists from China and the United States connected the earthquake to the Zipingcha Dam in Sichuan, which was built close to a seismic fault 2 years prior. They proposed that RTS or extreme tectonic stresses might have been caused by the weight of the several hundred million cubic meters of water pumped into the dam's reservoir. However, if the Great Bend of the Brahmaputra experiences flash floods due to intense monsoon rains, the new super dam may pose a hazard to people downstream, even without an earthquake. Just a few years ago, the Three Gorges Dam was in jeopardy due to unprecedented flooding, putting 400 million Chinese people at risk. According to the Center for Policy Research, China hides its building activities to quell foreign criticism of its contentious mega-project on the Brahmaputra. Before China started building several medium-sized dams on portions upstream from the well-known canyon, the Brahmaputra was one of the last rivers in the world to remain unbroken. Since China is currently building dams near borders, it will eventually be able to use transboundary flows to its advantage in its relations with rival India. However, Bangladesh would bear most of the environmental damage that the massive project is expected to do in the final section of the river. However, the ecological damage will probably increase in Tibet, one of the world's most biodiverse regions. In actuality, China will be trashing the canyon region, a significant Tibetan holy site, with its vast project. Transparency is one of the guiding principles of water peace. Given the massive strategic, environmental, and inter-riparian consequences of the most significant dam ever imagined, China must be open and honest. By persistent international pressure, Beijing can only be forced to lift the cloak of secrecy around its initiative.